Hi, I'm Trooper Smacka.
Hi, I'm Trooper Wellman,
Please stay tuned for a behind-the-scenes look at being a state trooper.
and together we can make a difference.
Here we are live at the 360 Vegas studios with Trooper Wellman. We're here with another edition of Trooper Talk. And people are really enjoying it, and the word is getting out.
Yeah.
And so it's all from where we started up to now. And so I have some exciting news that 2 previous PIOs have now made sergeant.
Yes.
So when you
No
make
pressure.
sergeant,
No
you know what I'm
pressure.
saying?
Yeah, they're setting the tone. And actually, before them, if you remember, at the time it was Trooper Webster, Chelsea. She went from PIO to Sergeant Soul 3, the last 3.
3, okay.
Yeah.
Tell us what the PIO does and, you know, what all the things that you now do.
So as a public information officer, not only do we go out to majority of the career fairs, but we do all the school reading weeks, a lot of the community engagement, giving back to the community, getting out there, meeting people, talking, really humanizing the badge is my responsibility, introducing myself to people, not only as Trooper Wellman with Nevada State Police, but Ashley. And that's what it's about, right? Like
Yeah,
just
sure.
humanizing the badge, building rapport with people, and honestly, it brings me so much joy to wear this badge, and it gives me so much pride, and like I hold my head high because I get to have these awesome interactions with people. It's not always just bad things I'm seeing. It's not just always chaos that I'm responding to. I get to just go to schools and see these kids light up and give out stickers and
Yeah.
trunk or treats. It's awesome. But at the same time, we go to all the serious calls. So all our fatalities, we go to our officer-involved shootings. We go to when our officers are killed in the line of duty. And we play a crucial role in organizing everything that gets put out to media, everything we want displayed for the most part, everything we're going to release, as well as we work side by side with our chief, our major, our director, our captains, like all our rank, which is high up. And, troopers were, on the line. And so you have interactions with your higher command, but not to the point where I can literally call our chief or our major in the middle of the night and be like, sir, ma'am, this is what I have. I need to give you a heads up, blah, blah, blah. So you build these awesome connections with your upper command. So when you do go to promote, you almost have a huge insight of what it would take to be a leader and to join our command and be a sergeant, to promote to a sergeant rank, because now you've seen it, you've experienced, you're right beside all of the command during these crucial and high stress situations. So it's definitely a very beneficial position if you want to promote, which I do, and my previous partners I've all promoted. So it does work because like I said, you're just you're opened up to all this new knowledge, and you see from the side of command. So if you want to say management, as well as, all the way down to trooper level or officer level. And it's like you get to see both sides and really see how everything unfolds. So it's very, very, very awesome, time consuming, stressful, but very rewarding position.
And not that everyone doesn't take every job seriously, but like this is even beyond taking the job seriously, because you have to get up sometimes, at crazy hours on your day. I mean, it's not a day off. It's, it's we need you now.
Yeah.
Right.
And now that Trooper Smacka got promoted to Sergeant Smacka, it's just me. And so I really rely on my peers. I rely on my command to help me out if I need help, maybe going to events or even just dividing some of my tasks, because it's a lot for one person. Travis or Sergeant Smack and I, we were a great team. Yeah. We balanced each other very well, and we had our own responsibilities. And now that he's gone and he left me, now it's a sink or swim. Here we go. So
when we were and we're going to show a little clip, when we were at the promotion, you could see that from everyone who was there. It's all about the mentorship. We are here to make us replaceable. And so, my assistant Joe, when he started working for me, that was the first thing he said to me. He said, I'm going to come here and I'm going to work for you, but you have to make yourself replaceable. And so you take that and you go, no, I don't want to replace myself. But
yeah,
that's how if you want to grow, that's how you have to think.
Yes. Yeah.
And
And they
so-
always have that saying, like, leave it better than you found it, right?
Right, exactly. So it was a really wonderful week. We got to see that. The other thing I just want to let everybody know is the fact that on troopertalk.com, we are going to show the full 30-minute, it's like 34 minutes of the promotion.
Oh, cool.
But today we only have a little clip of it. All right? All right. Let's get started. So one of the things that we talk about is lives lost.
Yes.
One is too many. And so all the troopers are out there, all patrolling all the roads to try as hard as they can to get these numbers to zero.
Correct.
And so talk to us about the numbers.
So 382 lives were lost last year just in the state of Nevada. 235 of them being in the in Las Vegas. Our top causes are impairment and speeding. Two completely preventable things. Slow down and plan ahead. It's that simple. Imagine how many lives could have been saved if people would have just slowed down and not drive impaired. 74 people could be alive right now if they just would have put their seatbelt on. When you start looking at it and really breaking it down and how simple it is, it's tragic that many people could still be alive today if they just would have put their seatbelt on. They just would have slowed down. They just would have left their house earlier. You know, our pedestrians, 85 pedestrians in the state of Nevada were killed. 85 people. Now, I can't tell you exact number of who used a crosswalk and who didn't, who yielded, who didn't, but majority of those are, it's everybody's responsibility to pay attention. So it's the person crossing the street as well as the driver that's on the roadway,
Of course.
you know? And so it's just super unfortunate.
And that's the thing. Like, it's very, very unfortunate. And these could be not here. You know, I mean, like, you know, people don't have, there's many ways to get around the impairment.
Yeah.
People don't have to speed, right?
Yeah, we're up almost 20% from last year. And last year we had the pandemic. So we weren't even supposed to have people on the roadways, but people still were and speeding faster. Majority of this is all preventable, and that's the tragedy behind it.
I want to talk about the unrestrained motorist because that's very simple,
Very simple.
you know? And so what does it take to click a seatbelt?
How many seconds? Maybe 5, 10? that.
And so would you say that when you are on traffic stops that a large majority of people generally wear the seatbelts?
I say a good portion of people do. And one of the biggest reasons is because if you don't have your seatbelt on, your car bings inside. So just pure annoyance, people will wear their seatbelt. So it's like we need that reminder, right?
Okay,
Like, put
okay.
your seatbelt on, put your seatbelt on, put your seatbelt on. So then it's like, fine, I'll put it on. And it is in place to save your life ultimately, but also it's a reminder like, hey, put your seatbelt on. Maybe you weren't paying attention and your mind's in a million different places right now and you just jumped in and you were going, just put your seatbelt on. It takes 2 seconds, right? And 74 people could possibly be alive right now. That's 74 people that could be your friend, your family member, your loved one that aren't coming home anymore because they didn't have their seatbelt on.
Yes.
You know, and it might not even have been their fault. Maybe they got hit by somebody else that was impaired or speeding, and because they didn't have their seatbelt on, now they lost their life. Like, just it's one simple movement and action that could literally change everything.
And 382 people that now those people are affected, right? So like, you know, maybe they have a husband or a wife or a child or, you know, and so like that tree directly affects a lot of people. So,
Yes.
you know, it's not that it's just 382 people and that's it either.
No.
And so,
No, it's like we always talk about. It's one less chair at a dinner table. It's people that weren't with their families for the holidays. Like, it's just, it's a shoe on the roadway. It's
Yeah.
just,
the shoe on the roadway.
it's just tragic.
So that's one of the things that we're going to do this year. We're going to save one more life.
Yes.
All right. All right. Here it is. So this is exciting to see the promotion and stuff. We both got to meet Sergeant Smacka's mother
Yeah, we
and
did.
father, right? I got to meet his wife and her family as well.
Yep.
And so that was cool.
Yeah.
And so what I also thought was very cool is that the newest recruits were there, and all of the top rank was there.
Yes.
And so I thought it was very special. And I don't know what Johnny put in the clip here, but I will tell you that I personally, and it chokes me up, the thing that I thought was the most special out of this whole entire ceremony was when he got up and he said, I'm going to get impaired drivers off of the road.
Yep.
You know, like he could have went up there and he could have said anything he wanted. But like, you know, and all the time that he sat here and we talked, like, you know, that's what he wanted.
It's like he was saying what he actually felt. Like it was true. It wasn't just like, hey, I'm in this spot, so I need to, you know, push out a safety message. Like he's passionate. Almost all of us troopers are passionate about getting impaired drivers off the road because we see the end result. And it's life-changing, and that's why we do everything we can to make a difference and get these impaired drivers off the road.
Yeah.
So.
And we noticed that he had new glasses, right?
Yeah, he did.
He grew up, remember?
Yeah, he became a man or
he
something.
Became a man or something, right? Here we go.
We're at my promotion. I'm leaving the PIO office, and I've had the great opportunity to become a sergeant. So I'm heading back to where it all began, working the graveyard overnight shift.
Oh, my son, he's wonderful. He was raised in a police family. It was hard keeping the toddlers off of our police phone because we were in a substation up in Mount Charleston. And I'm just very pleased to be here. I'm proud of him, and I think he's doing a great job out here.
Doing a promotion for Sergeant Travis Smacka, doing a ceremony.
Yeah. Yes. Well, we're excited that you're here.
Department of Public Safety, Nevada Highway Patrol, Special Order Number 185-21. Promotion, December 21st, 2021. Effective Monday, December 20th, 2021. Trooper Travis Smacka, identification number 329, is promoted to the rank of Sergeant. Trooper Brian Drone, identification number 190, is promoted to the rank of Sergeant and is assigned to duty station Las Vegas, Southern Command.
And uphold the values of my community and the Nevada Highway Patrol I serve. Thank you. Let's give them a round of applause.
So you have one number and then you get promoted to sergeant and then you get a different number?
So the only thing that changes is, so for example, Sergeant Smacka's number is, his call sign is 329. You put a 6 before it to indicate your rank. So a 6 is for trooper, so he's 6329. When you get promoted, you become a 4, 4329. So now we know he's a sergeant. If he was a lieutenant, he'd be 2329.
Oh.
And that's how we can say, oh, okay, like he's a sergeant, or oh, he's a lieutenant.
Oh, because you know, okay.
If you're a 5329, which is what he was, and as I am 5529, we're a specialized unit. So we're the public information officers.
Okay.
Our canines, our commercial is different, sorry. But everybody that has a specialized unit.
I see, okay.
Yeah, it indicates who we are and what we are.
Right, okay.
Yeah, so now he's 4329.
4329 Sergeant Smacka.
Yep.
And so, as I said, so it was really cool because in the video, his mom gave you a hug right off to the side. We got that on the video. And we got the whole thing. And so it's like 33 minutes long. And
what's cool is, like, you know, a partnership goes so deep, especially in this career. You have to have people that you rely on, that you break bread with, that, you know, when Sergeant Smack and I would go to lunch, we talk about work, but we also talk about our families. You know, we talk about who we are, who we've grown up, things we've been through, and, like, you really bond as partners because you end up spending more time together than you do with your family. And so it's very, very important to make sure you have a good bond together, as well as I feel so blessed to have gotten the opportunity to work with Sergeant Smacka because he is one in a million. He's such a genuine soul, and, like, would literally give you the shirt off his back. And so I'm very, very happy for him. It's truly bittersweet. I've talked to his mother on the phone many times. We're in the car together, and his mom will call. So it was cool to finally meet her and put a face behind it. So I felt like I already knew her, but I finally got to meet her. But yeah, I'm so happy for him.
Yeah. And he broke down. Do you see that? He said, anybody who knows me, right in the beginning,
Yeah.
he knows that I'm a sentimental guy, right?
Yeah.
And so it was great. I mean, his whole family was there, and just everybody was there to support him, and all the other troopers were in the back. And so I hope that everybody goes to thetroopertalk.com to watch the entire video.
Yeah.
Because it's very special.
I told him when we left that, like, not only was I proud of him, but I was just so grateful to have been there that day to share in this monumental memory that's now the next chapter of his career, but I know it was a huge part of his life. So he got to have his brother, who's
yes, his brother was there.
his
right.
Las Vegas Metropolitan
Right.
sergeant,
Right.
police department sergeant, and so he got to pin his badge on him, which that was a really big deal for Travis. And then his father is a retired LVMPD officer that used to be a residential officer up in Mount Charleston for
right.
years. Like
Right.
if you go up to Mount Charleston and you meet people, they still know about Officer Smacka because he played such a crucial role up there for so many years. So Travis, his whole background is law enforcement, so this was a huge day for him.
Yeah, that's right. They come over, and that's on the video where his wife came over and pinned him.
Yep.
And you know what else I thought was very cool, was that they recognized the partners of the people who were getting promoted.
Yeah.
And said that, like, this is going to be the hardest year. And, like, you don't take into account that, oh, well, they have families, right? So, like, it's not just them. So when they have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and bolt out of there,
Yeah, you have to have a good support system at
Right.
home, because if you don't, not only will that affect you, but it's going to affect your squad, because now you're responsible for all these other people. And if you're exhausted, and if you were at home and you're not, if you have a lot of stress or not a super healthy or supportive home structure, it'll affect you at work. And we deal with so much stress at work that you got to make sure that you balance it correctly. And it's a very hard thing to do.
Yeah.
But that's everyone in law enforcement, and we talk about it constantly. It's very known when you go into this career that you have to balance your personal life as well as your job. Otherwise, it's gonna implode, if you want to say.
Yeah.
Like, you have to just balance it. So Sergeant Smacka and I both are very, very lucky to have good, supportive families. And especially with the PIO spot, we're on call all the time. So I could be out to dinner with my family and be like, I gotta go. I'm so sorry, I gotta go. And my wife understood when I took this position, like, what it entailed, because it wasn't just me taking this position, it was my family. So
Right.
so and same thing with Sergeant Smack, he had to go to graveyard. So him and his wife talked about that for a long time, like, okay, we're not gonna have weekends off anymore, this is gonna affect us for a while.
Right.
And they came to that decision together. So yeah.
I think it's great, and the support staff you have to have it. You know what I mean? So this was great, and this was great to see you, and you got the videos, and we got you filming and stuff like that too. We got you lifting your little thing up too. All right, let's go to this one. State police help celebrate the birthday. So we know how you feel about Trooper May and his family, and how you're always there, and you're always trying to do everything you can, and to make sure that they're never left out.
Yeah.
And so tell us about this day.
So it was Raylan May's 4th birthday, and it's his first birthday without his dad. And so we knew his little sister Melody, it was her first birthday, which is a huge birthday as well, but we knew that he's going to retain this and that this is going to affect him. So I called a lot of people. We ended up having over 61 units. 61 units. It was amazing. It was like, you had to be there to fully feel it, but it was just breathtaking.
Yeah.
And so we all came. We currently, actually, the game plan was we got a little Charger, the little battery-powered cars.
Oh, yeah.
And we're painting it right now, and we're making it look like a replica of his dad's patrol car. Like, I have a license plate and everything.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to be awesome. So I'm going to post that, and you'll see it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we had some hiccups with the shipping, and we didn't get it in time. So his birthday theme was Paw Patrol. So I made a couple of last-minute phone calls, and I actually got the Chase from Paw Patrol to come down and surprise Raylan for his birthday as well. But I I mean, you hear about like photos capturing emotion, and like you look at it and it's like, oh, there's one right there. Like,
Yeah.
he's so happy. There's not a worry in the world right there. And he
Yes.
was giggling, and he may not understand it fully, but I hope he looks back in life and really feels the love and sees that his dad didn't die. Like we're always going to keep his dad alive. He may not be here physically, but he's here because we're all here. Like, we're still
Yeah.
here. And so I just know that we were talking about this earlier, but if I was ever to pay the ultimate sacrifice, I would just hope that my Blue family, the law enforcement community, would treat my family the same way that we're treating the May family. And that's why I put so much effort into it, because I think it's important that they know that they're never alone. And if something ever happened to somebody, it helps wear this badge and like take a bullet for somebody or run into a burning building or whatever, right? All these dangers, because you know that your family will be taken care of. You know that they'll still be loved and they will not be alone. So I take comfort in knowing that.
Yeah, and it's tremendous. You know, we highlighted you at the car show and all these different things that, you know, you do. And so, you know, I know that they know, and they'll know in the future. And so that's one of the best things about what we try to do, is keep these things here so that everyone can always look back. And so I think it's very special. And when you sent me all the pictures and stuff, it's just again, it's wonderful to see everybody coming together.
Yeah. It was
And so I
so
just
beautiful.
I think it's just very, very special. And, you know, so I love stuff like this. You know what I
Me
mean?
too. It makes it all worth it. Like,
Yeah.
just, there's a saying, it's called tight feeling, where it's just like, you just like want to hug somebody, like it's like tight feeling. And I just get tight feeling when I do
you
these
see
kind of
this,
events.
right? Yeah.
And
No,
his
it's-
smile, you know?
And then it's just, it's awesome. So great job.
Thank you.
Ah, look at this. I didn't even know. Is this the video you sent me? This is the video you sent me.
Yeah. This was all of us getting ready. So I went and got balloons, because Raylan's favorite color is orange, and so was Micah's. And so we hung a orange balloon on every patrol car. And I had Sergeant Broadcheck real quick do the drone so we could get like a sky shot of all the units that were there to help capture it.
Look at the preparation. I mean, like that. And again, you know, I mean, not for anything, right? It's not for money. It's not
No.
for anything. It's
Just pure love, like
pure
just
love.
the
And
kindness
so-
of everybody's heart. Like we just heard it was his birthday, and we're like, we got to be there. And if you actually see, there's a blue truck right there. So that's actually Nevada Donor Network, and they are one
Nevada
of our
Donor-
partners. And so it's not even just law enforcement that's there. They showed up with a bunch of balloons and their like tricked out truck because they wanted to be a part of the parade. I have a family that owns a cake company in town that reached out to us when Trooper May passed, and they give free cakes to the kids for their birthdays, just out of the kindness of their heart. They were there, so they jumped in the parade. I mean, it just keeps going. It's so beautiful. It's beauty and tragedy, and you've heard me
Yeah.
say that before, but it truly is. It's just so beautiful.
We wish that he was here, but you know, we it's very important to keep the memory there.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a very big fan, not a fan, but a very big proponent of that. You know, I think that it's very important. It's very difficult because
Yeah.
we have to like really deep in our soul to like, you know, be stronger than we are, you know, for everyone else.
Yeah.
But I think it's important.
I think it brings comfort to all my peers as well to see his smile, right? And they see him jumping around and smiling, and I think it brings them joy knowing that he's okay and he's happy, you know, even though his dad's not here anymore physically. So,
He's trying.
yeah.
Yeah. January 9th. Celebrate all who wear the badge. Law Enforcement Appreciation Day.
So when we went up to D.C. this last go around for Police Memorial Week to honor Sergeant Ben Jenkins, these are our honor guards. And I actually contacted all the honor guards, the Southern Nevada honor guards that were there, and I was like, I don't know if we can make this work, but could everybody meet at this time and maybe this day, and let's take a group photo before we leave D.C.? And we made it work, and they ended up being some of the greatest photos I'll probably ever have in my career, because we have the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, you have Nevada State Police, you have North Las Vegas Police Department, and you have the Henderson Police Department. We're only missing a few, but we all came together as one, and we're in our best dress, and we have this amazing back drop,
Yeah.
and it's just like, it's what it's about. Like, it's just, again, it's that tight feeling. It makes you have so much pride to wear the badge. And if I was somebody that was like ever questioning being in law enforcement, when I see photos like this, I'm just like, oh my gosh, I want to be that person. I want to go. I want to do that, right? Like, it's just so motivating, I feel like.
And besides doing everything that you do, being in the honor guard, right? So that's really like the casket.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like it's one thing to, to feel what you feel, and then, you're saluting and doing all these things. But, this is really like where, you really have to dig real. I mean, like, right? I mean, you're holding your friend.
Yeah, like I was on the casket detail for Trooper Micah, Trooper Fontaine. I went up to Sergeant Ben Jenkins' funeral. I posted on his casket. We weren't part of his casket detail because he was up north, so they have their own. But I was part of all 3 of those funerals. And, people that have lost a loved one will understand that, when you see the families crying. So as I'm standing there, posted guard on these caskets and stuff, we're looking down and we're at attention and we're in these uniforms and we're supposed to be playing a role to honor them, but I'm still human. And so when I hear the sniffles and I see them crying, I'm always standing up there crying myself because I can't keep it in. Like, I feel what they feel. Like, it hurts and it sucks, but we honor them because, like, I don't know another word, but it's such an honor to honor them. Because it just, like, what they went through, it's like, not that we have to, but we want to honor them and their families and make it the biggest production, the biggest deal possible, because they deserve that.
Yeah.
So.
And the medic was at Trooper Sergeant Smacka's thing too. The one that that Trooper Fontaine was part of, right?
Correct. Yeah, because we all work together in the first
Yeah.
responder field. Like, we're all one.
Yeah.
And that was another thing with Trooper Fontaine at his funeral. His was so moving because it wasn't just the law enforcement community. He worked for Medic West and all the ambulance and stuff, and so they all came out, and it was like, wow, like, to have an impact on everyone. It was just truly beautiful. Yeah.
So I wanted to bring that up too, but
Yeah.
and this, I mean, it's just all these special moments and all these special pictures, all part of the DPS careers, right?
Yep.
DPScareers.com, right?
Yeah, our honor guard is made up of every branch in our department. Like, we have parole and probation, we have highway patrol. We were talking about getting a Capitol Police person in there, but anybody in the DPS family can join our honor guard. It's not just highway patrol.
And the other people that were there were the commercial.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
But most people don't know that part of Nevada Highway Patrol, right? Because
Yeah.
they don't dress in the trooper uniform,
Yeah.
right?
For Sergeant Jerome. Mhm.
But they actually, there's a part of the Department of Public Safety that is for the commercial things, right?
Yeah, and so their main focus is enforcing and making sure everybody, is like there's so the commercial vehicles, the semi trucks.
Yeah, right.
So all of those, anybody has a CDL, commercial driver's license, they do inspections on those vehicles. They make sure that they're where they're supposed to be. Their loads aren't too heavy to
Yeah.
prevent any, crashes or anything happening. And that's their main focus. And it's actually awesome. And they do a lot of training and a lot of reading on their books because they have to be up to speed with
I
all
never
their.
thought of that, right?
Yeah, it's a lot. And that's why Sergeant Drone, he's one of our most qualified commercial units. He's a book of knowledge. If you ever get that guy in a corner and start talking about commercial trucks, he actually works like for the feds because he has so many like certified certifications that
Yeah.
he's expanded his horizon just from the Department of Public Safety. So it's just, this career is what you make of it.
Yeah.
It's truly amazing.
They mentioned all those things when they did the promotion. They were like, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kept going and kept, yeah.
Exactly.
That's very funny. I wanted to thank these 2 officers from NHP. So here's what people don't realize. That if you have a problem with your vehicle, that you can call NHP. Not that they're going to come over and do all these, but I'm saying, make a phone call, at least get them so that, you're not going to get hit or whatever,
Yeah.
And so,
if anything, we can be visibility behind you with our, emergency lights. But usually 9 out of 10 times we will help you change your tire, or we will help push your car out of the roadway, or we're going to get a tow truck on its way, or we have freeway service patrol here in town that we're fortunate to
Right,
have.
right.
So if you run out of gas, maybe we can give you a little bit of gas, get you out of that roadway or something. But don't ever hesitate to call us if your car breaks down or you are stranded on the side of the road, you don't feel safe. Call us. We will be on our way. That's
Yeah.
what we do. That's what we're here for, is to protect you,
I think it's wonderful. Johnny got stuck in Alaska, and the Alaska State Highway Patrol pushed him off to the side of the road.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just and so like it's wonderful because there's solidarity between anything, and so if you get into a problem, there's someone to call, and so
Yeah.
we love showing stuff like this because it's like more the human side of like we're here to help you.
Yeah, look at these troopers are going above and beyond. And this citizen was so grateful that they actually wrote into us. And we love getting letters or a phone call. When a trooper does something that you're just so grateful, please call us. Please send us a letter because we give it to their superior. It goes in their file. It shows that they're doing a great job. We love to highlight these officers for a job well done because you always see so much bad. Like everything's always negative about law enforcement. And we always want to highlight the good stuff because a lot of times it goes unnoticed. And so this is just them doing their regular, job. And they probably didn't even think twice. Like, here, we'll help you out.
Yeah.
And it
And
really
they're off to
affected
the
that
side
person.
of the road. I mean, this trooper. I mean, like it's wonderful to see.
Yeah, imagine you were going to like work or you're in like nice clothes. You're trying to get underneath your car. Maybe you don't even know how to do it. And it's like, well, let us help you, We do this on the
I
regular.
wouldn't know how to do it. Like seeing what he's doing right there, I'm like, no, I'm out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that one takes a lot of work.
Fatal crash. The IR-15 at Sloan was shut down. All traffic is being.
This was a fatal we had the other night.
I saw
6
this one.
vehicles with 4 fatalities.
And so, not to get into any type of graphic details or anything like this, but part of what Trooper Talk does is it displays the human side of being a trooper. And so maybe it's not this, but you have to go out to fatalities and you have to deal with that in your mind and then go home.
Yeah.
And so talk to us about that.
So, 4 individuals were lost in this crash because there was a Cadillac. The preliminary details. A red Cadillac was traveling wrong way on the IR-15. They were traveling northbound in the southbound travel lanes. And if you are familiar with the 15 and like Sloan area, the speed limit out there is minimum 70 miles an hour. Or the posted speed limit is 70 miles an hour. And there was a truck, a Toyota that was traveling in the far left lane, and it went head on with the wrong way vehicle. When it went head on with the wrong way vehicle, it ended up going to the center median and catching fire. The truck was fully engulfed, 3 occupants inside. The Cadillac was driven by a female adult. That was the only occupant in that vehicle. And then 3 other vehicles were involved that had got significant damage to their vehicle, but luckily no life-threatening injuries. This crash was so horrific and so tragic. All probably could have been, no, I could say it 100%. This could have been prevented, right? We have signs up for a reason. We talk about it all the time. There's wrong way signs up. There's no reason to be driving wrong way unless, I don't know. It just, I think I've said before, like, oh, maybe you're not from here, maybe you don't understand, but you've got to pay full attention. If you're going to get behind the wheel of a motor vehicle, you need to pay full attention to what you're doing. We had people calling in. We are so grateful. Unfortunately, this is one of our rural areas, and we don't have a lot of manpower out there. We had a trooper that was en route, original location, because now you're dealing with mile markers, because you're not in a high. It's not like, it's 215 to Decatur, it's 215 to Jones. We're at mile markers on this area, so people are trying to figure out where is this at. So we're getting multiple calls, and we're trying to figure out where is it at. The trooper finally locates it. The crash obviously had already occurred, and when I first got on this scene, obviously I find out what happened, and I see the tragedy, and I'm processing it. But my biggest concern was that trooper that was first on scene, because as his sister and as his peer, You know, that's not normal for someone to see that. Yes, we're trained. We know what we're going into. We're supposed to handle these, and we will. But as a human, it's not normal to see this, right? So imagine being that trooper and rolling up on this scene, and it's not like you can be like freeze or it's all done. It's still in motion, and so you've got all these cars that you just stopped, all these travel lanes. And you're like, stop, stop, stop. You get out, you have a truck fully engulfed with 3 individuals inside, and you can't do anything. You can't do anything because it's too far, right, at this point. You have another vehicle with a female adult that is deceased on scene. You have 3 other cars that are involved in this crash, and you run over there to check on their injuries. There's so many moving parts. And to feel so helpless because of this tragedy that just occurred, it is a feeling that I don't wish upon anyone. And so I went up to that trooper, and I was just, you know, like, are you okay? And I think he was kind of taken back, like, oh, yeah, no, I'm fine, I'm fine. I'm like, no, like, seriously, you don't have to play tough with me. Like, are you okay?
Yeah.
Because I'm legit concerned, because I know that that's a fear of mine, is rolling up on a scene and being the only person. And when you're in a rural area, your backup's taking a while to get there. It could take a bit, right? Like 10 minutes feels like a lifetime in a situation like that. You know, you need medical to get there. You need the fire department to get there. It's just so many moving parts. And, you know, I'll leave you with this. Like, ultimately, 4 lives were lost in this crash. 4 lives. And, it's just, I don't even know the words except that it's just tragic. And everybody that's sitting there, imagine we always talk about the ripple effect. Everybody that's sitting there and stopped traffic, just watching this truck burn, watching all these cars, people screaming, people are filming. That's how you got this, because they sent it into the news. People are filming this. Like, imagine how all those people are affected as well. Like, just watching this. The average person is not supposed to see things like that.
Yeah.
You know, this is like a war zone in ways. And so, please, if you ever experience something traumatic like this, you know, don't hesitate to reach out, get help. You can even call us, and we can offer, like, resources to you, because just like us, we have to take care of ourselves. You know, sometimes we have to talk to people. We have programs set up at our agency to handle this. You know, if average person sitting there watching this, you might go home and you can't get it out of your mind. You're like, I wasn't even involved, but no, it's totally normal what you're feeling, because you're not supposed to see things like that. Not the average person. You're not supposed to see that on the regular or anything like that. So, you know, please just know there's resources out there if you need help. And for everybody that did call in, because we always talk about if you see a wrong way or if you see something, say something, call us. Thank you for calling, because we would never have known about the wrong way if they didn't call, because where this is, it's such a big stretch of roadway. And we only have so many troopers out there that if it wasn't for those citizens calling it in, I mean, I mean, we couldn't have been there quicker. Like, we're just very grateful for, you know, we try to focus on what we could do better moving forward, or what we did do good. And one of the things is we just appreciate the community calling in to help us try to get to this scene quicker. But yeah, it's just one of those ones that this one will probably stick with me quite a while. This was probably, I've had some pretty big scenes being the public information officer now for almost a year, but this one was my first one without Travis, and it was a significant one. So I will probably always remember this crash.
Yeah, and so the takeaway from, you know, and it is something that I wanted to talk about, you know, maybe we'll do that for the next Trooper Talk or something, which is the fact that, you know, if you're feeling of suicide, or you're feeling of, you know, these type of things where you need to talk to somebody, and this is a perfect example, like you said, of, you know, people filming this and, you know, watching someone burn to death.
Yeah.
Right? You know, please go get help.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there are resources out there to, you know, because I forget what the number is, but it's like, you know, we see 8 horrific things in our life, and you see like 800.
Yeah.
Right? And so,
exactly.
you know, we're not made to see all these horrific things like this.
Yeah, and that's why we wear our body armor, and we're supposed to be these tough individuals, but ultimately we're human, and that is why I wanted to make sure that that trooper was okay, because I couldn't imagine being by myself rolling up on that scene, and he did, for what he could do, he did phenomenal. And that's why we always got to check on our friends, right?
Right.
Got to check on our partners. We got to check on our family, our loved ones. Make sure we're always staying up on people. If you think maybe, just since we're talking about suicide and stuff, make sure they're okay. So,
yeah. Well, let's give can you tell us the trooper's name? Let's give him a shout out.
it's Trooper French. He did phenomenal.
Great job. Okay,
Good job,
just keep
French.
up the good work. Okay, everybody loves you. Troopers are investigating a single vehicle crash, including a tractor trailer.
So this is the commercial unit. So you have road troops that are on this scene, but ultimately we'd have a commercial unit that we were talking about come out to this because it was a semi with a trailer.
Oh.
Just took the turn too fast, overturned its load. Luckily, no one was hurt. Nobody else was involved. But that spilling of his load caused that roadway to be shut down for well over 5 hours, if not longer. I don't remember the exact time, but it was like all day to get that clean up, to get it overturned, to get a tow truck. I mean, we shut that down all day, and that causes a huge ripple effect for everybody commuting to and from work, to and from home. This was on the Collector Distributor Road. There's multiple ways to access it, so I'll just keep it simple. But basically, if you're on the IR-15 northbound, this is like the off-ramp to go Russell.
Oh.
So it's
okay,
that side
yeah.
road.
Oh.
So luckily it wasn't the 15, but still.
Oh, this is where I take. Okay, so this is where like the Allegiant Stadium is down here, right before you get on the Russell and the 215, and it has that little road like that off of the 15, right?
Flip sides, I think. You're thinking of southbound, right? If you're saying Allegiant Stadium.
Yeah.
This is northbound. So if you were like
Okay. Oh.
traveling on the 215 westbound and
Yeah.
you went to make that turn to go onto the 15 north, it's that. Or even like Las Vegas Boulevard from like Town Square and you go on that ramp to go
Yes.
15 north, it's that one.
Okay.
So there's
now I
like
understand.
multiple little entry points to this
Yes.
Collector Distributor Road, but yeah, it definitely like
Not a good thing.
no, it caused so much traffic delay, and everybody wants to stop and look. So no matter what, even though traffic lanes were open on the 15 northbound, people are still looking, so it's still backed up. And
Yeah.
just slow down.
It's 5 hours of.
And think about how much money that cost people. That was actually lumber, and I want to say like fiberglass or something. So, and we all know that wood is expensive right now.
Yeah, I was just
so-
gonna say it was probably already delayed 4 or
Yeah.
5 months. That's
So
fine.
somebody got in
somebody's
trouble,
very mad.
unfortunately.
Slow down and move over. Oh, look who it is.
Oh,
Wow, look at this.
the blue uniforms too,
All right, let's see this
taking
video.
it back.
See an emergency vehicle or any vehicle with amber lights, please slow down, and if you can safely do so, give us an extra lane to work in.
Okay. So, one of the things that we don't realize is that it's not just an emergency vehicle, right? It's the tow trucks.
Yep.
And the guys that are working on the side of the road that have the amber lights.
This was probably before the law changed. So,
Yeah.
amber lights, hazard lights, pretty much any vehicle on the shoulder. Slow down, decrease your speed. If you can safely move over a lane, you need to move over a lane.
Move over. You
Yep.
know what I mean? And let's not forget the fact that, that's where you're conducting your business.
Yeah.
And so sometimes you're on the passenger side, right? Talking through, and sometimes you're on the driver's side.
Yeah.
And so that means you're very close to the road.
Yeah. We try to not do the driver's side at Highway Patrol just because we are closer to a lane line and we'd rather be on the other side. But you never know what you're dealt, and you never know where someone's going to stop. So sometimes you just have to adapt and overcome.
And sometimes they pull into the center lane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never pull into the center lane, right?
You mean the inside shoulder?
The inside shoulder.
Yes,
right.
never pull in the inside shoulder if you can prevent that. Again, there might be some situations where you don't have a choice, but technically, by law, you are supposed to, when you're yielding to an emergency vehicle, you're supposed to pull to the right side shoulder.
Far right.
Yep.
As slow as you can, and that's why you have the lights, right?
Yep.
Okay. I pointed out to people in a slow manner so that they really understand, because all the time you see them on the left-hand side, you're like, no, you should have just pulled over.
Yes, and that's usually the first thing we're going to say to you when we walk up, besides the fact that we introduce ourselves. We may say the reason for the stop, but I always I'm always like, why are we in the left lane? Why are we on the left shoulder right now? And then, I'll take that a moment to educate.
Right.
But, yeah. But you
should be-
can't technically get a ticket for it, so just pull to the right shoulder if you can.
So don't upset the troopers.
Oh, boy.
You know what I mean? Just pull to the right. All right, we talked about this. So I don't think that most people know how much it costs for a funeral. Not
Yeah.
that most people would know that. Does that make sense?
Right.
But funerals are expensive.
They're very expensive.
And so at the store over there, I had somebody come in from one of the funeral homes, and he made a joke, and he said, "You know something about my business?" And I said, "What's that?" He said, "100% of the people need my business."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because and so like he was making a joke, right? Because
yeah.
you're sort of softening the mood for the funeral end of things, but like, yeah, 100% of the people need my services.
Yeah.
And so 100% of the people don't need the DUIs.
No.
And so
I mean,
they are expensive.
if you are lucky enough to walk away from a DUI and not injure yourself or someone else, and you end up getting arrested for it, yeah, the repercussions are heavily expensive, and as well they should be, because it's kind of like we talked about, going to jail should be like an adult timeout. Like, you're not supposed to like it, right?
Right.
So they are expensive, and they should be, because then you need to understand the full severity of what you just did. Like, you may have got away with it this time, like got arrested, but you got away with it the easiest time because you didn't take a life or hurt anyone or hurt yourself. But you shouldn't think, oh, here's a couple $100, like, whatever. I don't care if I get another DUI. Like, we need to make you feel it. And if it's by your pocketbook, then that's what's going to really wake some people up. So everybody's different, right?
And the other thing too that we don't talk about, and it's not a guarantee, but you lose your license.
Yes.
And so that means you're not getting to work.
Nope.
After, whatever happens, and if you get convicted in the whole thing, does that make sense?
Yeah.
But, that means that you're not getting to work, so you have to
figure it out, right?
Figure it out.
Minimum 90 days, minimum. And if you refuse, and there's all other things in the law we can talk about another day, but you could lose it up to over a year, depending on how this goes down. But minimum 90 days, you're not going to have a license if you're convicted. Or, if you get.
And so at $12 for an Uber ride is times 90 days is a lot of money, forgetting how much it's going to cost you. And so it's very important. So we don't want DUIs. We want to get people just take an Uber.
Yeah.
And the other thing that we talk about is normally there's always discounts that you put on the Twitter page, right? When the Uber rides give you discounts for the holidays and stuff like that too.
Yeah, there's all these companies that have come together to make donations to these rideshare companies, Lyft, Uber, all this stuff, so that people can use it. So they use it to their advantage and use this resource we have, so they do not drive impaired.
Don't drive impaired.
Don't drive impaired.
Yeah, I think that that's one of the messages that I just want to keep hammering out to people. Don't drive impaired. Just take the $12 or call a friend or something. You know
we
what I
had
mean?
one trooper alone last year get over 100. I think it was 126 DUIs. 126. Just one trooper got 126 impaired drivers off the roadway. That was possibly 126 people that could have died. And that's one trooper. If I put together all of our troopers, I'll have to get that number, but it's just, there's no reason for it.
Yeah.
And like, we could be doing other functions, helping other people, but instead we have to get this impaired driver off the road because they're putting themselves and everyone else in danger.
Yeah. It's funny is probably, people always say, oh, why are you pulling me over? There's more important criminals down, right? But no, you are the person because you're driving drunk.
Yeah. Yeah, like reality check.
Right.
That's you tonight.
Right.
That's you today.
Right. During the day or the night, right?
Yeah, all times.
It's not just during the night. Maybe the majority might be, but, there's people driving impaired during the day.
We're a 24-hour city.
Right.
Yep.
That's it already?
That
Johnny, you didn't have more? Trooper Wellman, we thank you for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
We want to tell people again about the Trooper Smacka video, that they can watch that and go to troopertalk.com. Got to give Trooper Smacka's mom and dad and his wife and the whole family and the other trooper, Brian...
Sergeant Drone. Yep.
Sergeant Drone, right? His family was there too.
Yeah.
His wife and his daughter, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we got to give shouts out to all them. And...
That's a big deal. It's a huge accomplishment, and I'm so happy for both of them.
Yeah. So thank you very much. One more thing. We did speak to Colonel Carpenter.
Oh, yes.
And so she is going to be coming on in the near future. We're very excited about that. And so we're looking forward to the future.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So thank you, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks
All right,
for
let's
having me.
wave everybody, right, Johnny? Because we got in trouble last time. All right, we'll see you soon.